Welcome back to Adri's Farmhouse Kitchen. In this vlog, Every Bit Counts challenge from Jessica's Three Rivers Homestead, week 3, part 2 vlog, we are going to make the following. So, we are going to make cabbage roll bake. So, basically the ingredients is beef mince and rice with tomato paste and some spices. You know, when I make the cabbage roll or stuffed pepper kind of ingredients, but this time we're going to bake it without the cabbage leaves or peppers in a roasting oven, and we're going to add toppings later on. So as you can see it in here, we're also going to make beef and bean chili, and that's what's got on it. The beef and bean chili sauce is topped with this lovely cabbage roll bake. And we're also going to make Salsa Verde sauce, and this is another sauce what gone on our cabbage roll bake, and it is delicious, friends. We're also going to make curried tomato sauce, if you're interested. Also going to make beetroot relish with horseradish. All the ingredients are from our garden. We're going to freeze dry basil leaves. We are having now lots of basil in the garden. And let me check my cheat sheet. So yeah, I think we've covered the lot. So, you know, if you are interested, you are very welcome. We are going to carry on week 4, the Every Bit Counts challenge and so on. I'm probably gonna carry on the whole September as well. Let's go watch the vlog. I am ready to make the first project of the day. So we are making roasted Salsa Verde, and we hopefully make from this small batch 3 pints, and we're going to water bath can it. First things first, I'm going to fill the tray with all these beautiful homegrown tomatillos. I'm going to cut them in half, and we're going to roast it in a roasting oven for about 40 minutes before we do the next step. So I am using one of my favorite canning book, the all new Ball Book of Canning and Preserving, and the recipe is on page 167, and the ingredients are 2 kilograms of tomatillo, 2 medium-sized white onions, each cut into 8 wedges. I am using freeze-dried onions. I'm just rehydrating them in a bit of water. Recipe asks for 2 either jalapeno or serrano pepper. I haven't got none of them, so I'm gonna use 1 sugar rush peach, 6 garlic cloves, half a cup of lime juice, 1/4 cup of cilantro leaves, 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So I've got all the ingredients ready. The tomatillo is now out of the water bath cannon. My next job is I've made this cheese, so that was the first job this morning, remember. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to wrap it like this in paper towel. And I'm going to put this to the fridge. And our next job is the cabbage rolls. I'm gonna change that recipe slightly. It's a freezer meal, and then I'm hosting a dinner party tomorrow, so we're gonna eat half of it at least tomorrow. So I'm not fussed playing around with the recipe. So what I'm going to use, so we've got the minced beef, freeze-dried onion in here, and we've got this beautiful fillet cabbage. I've got bacon, I've got sauerkraut, garlic and some shallot and some cilantro in here. I'm gonna use probably, oh, that's another project. What else the recipe asks for? Cabbage, rice, yeah. So we got the rice here, garlic, bacon, onion. Asks for flour. I don't think so I'm gonna put flour to mine. Ask for tomato juice, some water and sauerkraut. So I've got the tomato juice in here, what we've just got from the pantry. And I'm just gonna put everything together. And I'm going to just basically put it in my roasting oven in this tray, and we're gonna cook it that way. Or what we can use, actually, this would work better for us. So I've got the mince, the onion in here. I'm just gonna eyeball everything. It's quite late in the evening now, it's 6:15. I just wanna get this done now. So I'm gonna put about 2 cups of this rice. I'm gonna season this with some salt and pepper. I might add the bacon later on because this is already cooked. So I'm gonna add the cilantro, and I'm just gonna chop it up a little bit. The shallots and the garlic. Yeah. Sauerkraut can go in there as well, like that, all of it. Why not, friends? Just added the 2 tomato sauce in here. Let's see if it's enough or we need more. And I'm just going to chop the shallots and the garlic. And we're not gonna use the whole of this cabbage to this recipe, but we're probably gonna use about a half of it. And that can go in the animal pot with a lid on in our roasting oven. And half of this cabbage. Can't wait to show you inside. Look how beautiful this is. Ta-da! Looking amazing. I love it. And we're just gonna chop this up. I'm adding another tomato sauce. This is now chock-a-blocker. And I'm giving a good mix. Lid on. And we're going to put this in the oven. I'm gonna put it in first for about half an hour. And then we're going to give a good mix. And we're going to put this back for another half an hour. And then we'll have a taste test. Make sure the rice is cooked and everything's cooked. Flavoring, make sure we're happy with all the flavorings, and that's it. I'm making this tomato or summer vegetable soup. So we've got in here actually some of the turkey stock broth with some fat, freeze-dried onions, and you know, when I've emptied the jars with the tomato sauce, so I put all this in here for extra flavoring. And these are freeze-dried cherry tomatoes from last year's garden. That can all go in there. And we're going to cut some more of that beautiful red cabbage, and we can put that in there as well. I've added lots of yummy fresh tomatoes to it. And I've scooped a few of that cabbage roll mix to this spot because that was too full. It is 8:30 in the evening and dinner is done for tomorrow for the dinner party. And the soup, I'm just gonna have a taste test with you now and decide whether it's fully cooked and whether it needs more salt and pepper or any other seasoning. Nice. It is nice. I'm going to serve this with sour cream and sourdough bread. I've got a bit of a kick. Okay, try the soup. It's nice. That is really nice. Very hearty. Full of flavors. I've also actually mixed some rye flour with some bread flour and sourdough starter and salt. And actually I might make like a mini naan bread with it as well. But yeah, it's perfect. Oh no, we failed in the tomatillo. You don't want to hear this. These lids are no good, friends. But these two good, the screw lid. So we're gonna put this in a pantry shelf and probably we're going to have this over rice and chicken or some meat soon. Okay. I'm gonna cover these things up. Just gonna leave it in here till it cools completely. Probably I'll leave it here tomorrow morning before I'm going to put this in the fridge. I've just gotta go now and collect the washing from the line, have a shower and sit down and see you tomorrow. Good morning, friends. I'm out of wheat grain. I usually buy organic wheat grain in 5 kilogram bags and I'm gonna fill that up. I'm going to fill my little barrel up with it so when we need flour we can just mill it in our grain mill. And this amount goes perfect to my 5 kilogram barrel. I am just tidying up the kitchen before we do in the next project. Today we are going to freeze dry some basil. I have picked all these basil leaves and I'm just going to remove the leaves from the stem and stick it to the freeze dryer. I've already turned it on. It needs 15 minutes to cool down and this is ready hopefully by tomorrow, friends. The basil is ready, nice and crunchy. I'm going to put this in this glass jar with this lid on. Just going to, I'm not even gonna crunch it for now. Just put it all in there. And this basil, it's got a couple of different varieties of basil in there. The crimson, the English. There is still one more. smells gorgeous. So we might actually harvest a few more the upcoming weeks, and I'm just going to fill this jar. As I fill it, I just push it down and that crunches it up for us. Well, our next job on the list, we're gonna make curried tomato and beet relish today. So after I've done the basil, we go to the garden and we're going to harvest the ingredients for the tomato paste. So lots of tomatoes, and for the beet relish some beetroot, and let's see what else the recipe says, what else we need to harvest. Another job is done, friends. And just like that, we're good. Put the lid on. And we got a beautiful homegrown freeze-dried basil ready. We are in a garden harvesting some beetroot. So we can take that back with us for our next project. I am aiming to harvest some large ones. Oh, by mistake I pulled all sorts out. So now everybody's coming. I think we've got enough. Let's go harvest some tomatoes. I am taking San Marzano for today's project. We need about 3 kilograms. Okay, I think we've got enough for today's project. I've got the beetroot for the beetroot relish with horseradish, and we're gonna do a curried tomato sauce. And I've also picked a few slices for tomato sandwiches. Let's go to the kitchen. Okay, let's see if we've got enough for our project, friends. So we're going to start the beet relish, and we need 1.4 kilograms of beetroot. Let's see if we've got enough. Yes, we have. 1.3. So I've got 1.673. So just over 1.5 kilogram. We're gonna peel it. That'll be perfect. Turn this off, put it away. Perfect. I'm going to roast this. So I'm gonna peel this lovely beetroot. I'm gonna roast it on this baking tray with parchment paper in it for about 30 to 40 minutes in my roasting oven. I'm going to peel this and cube it as well, so it roasts quicker for extra flavor. And then I've just got all the ingredients in this jar now, what the recipe needs. So I will write out the recipe below the vlog if you're interested, but I'm using the preservation book. I also gonna make a note which one it is and what page is it on. It's around 161, and we need 1.4 kilograms of beet, 3.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, 2 cups of diced onion, I'm using freeze-dried shallots, 1.25 cup of sugar, I'm using organic cane sugar, 2/3 of a cup of prepared horseradish, what I have done prior to this project. I actually a couple of days ago went to our old house, dug up some horseradish and grated it. We've got 2 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of ground black pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of grounded pepper. So that sounds easy, right? And we're going to water bath can this today. So we're going to water bath can 15 minutes and we're using 4 pint jars. Roast the beetroot next. I'm only adding a little bit of olive oil to this. And just coat it thoroughly. How wonderful this looks. This got 4 different varieties of beetroot. This must have been the rainbow mix. Beetroot is now ready. I'm gonna take that out, put it over here. Try not to make too much of a mess. That worked out quite well. I only dropped one. Looking amazing, friends. And this is the next project over here. Beet, relish, we're gonna add all these ingredients now from here. And we're going to simmer this for 20 minutes. And then we're going to water bath can it. The water is now actually boiling. The dishwasher is nearly finished. So we're just going to leave this to it for a little bit. That's it. Cover this back up. And got a few more beetroot here. The recipe asks to boil the beetroot, but I like to roast it. It brings out the flavor. And I'm gonna do the same, I think, with the tomatoes. Okay, I am ready to fill the jars with the beet relish. And leaving 1/2 inch headspace. And we're going to water bath can it for 15 minutes. We've got 5 minutes left in the water bath can for the beetroot, and we're going to swap this lovely tomato sauce. It's thickening up nicely. The beetroot is out and I'm jarring up the curried tomato sauce. The water is coming back to a boil and we're going to water bath can this for 10 minutes. I'm using up this 1 pint jar, but the rest is 1/2 pint. Just made lovely rice pudding today, so we're gonna have this with some jam. Talking about jams, I have been back to the old house and harvesting Victoria plum and greengage, so we're gonna do something to do with those, either jam or I've got some recipes in here we might use. I've got the week 4 plan now, so we're gonna do pot roasting jar, freeze drying garlic, beefy bolognese sauce, barbecue pulled pork. Instead of pork, we're probably gonna use either venison or lamb. So we're gonna make tomato sauce, and I'm looking at the oven roasted marinara. So we're gonna do lots of harvesting, and a lot more canning at week 4 Every Bit Counts Challenge, pals. Thank you so much for spending time with me in week 3 part 2. I've got the sauce, the curry tomato sauce now out of the water bath canner. We've got the beetroot relish and we've got this lovely freeze-dried basil as well. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful week and see you very soon. Bye friends!